advanced shoulder circles with weights. So now that we've gone through all of the different patterns that you can do with two hands, the next and final progression is adding weight to both of them at the same time. So we'll start with the front circles again. The first weights we'll do this with are clubs, light clubs. But here, beginning with parallel, both directions, so arms just stay parallel to each other as you turn around. Alternating, so now both are going inside circles, now both are going outside circles. With all two-handed or two-arm circles, there's going to be a lot of body movement. That's what keeps the momentum around, so that if my body doesn't move, then I have to use my shoulders to move it, and that will reduce the value of the shoulder circle. So we want to let the shoulder relax so that it gets pulled around the circle rather than lifting and lowering the arm around the circle. The value of doing these fast with momentum rather than without momentum. Two arms to the side, we'll start with alternating. So one, and then the other, coming back around. And then opposing. So here we're going to go opposite directions. And we'll try to take out the HVAC when we do that. So watch your surroundings when you start throwing this stuff around. Trying to stay in frame and not take myself or anything else out. Next one, the throws. So when we start to do the overhand inside and outside throws, we'll start with mirroring. This one in some ways is a lot more difficult than the one we'll do next. But starting here, this is the classic turn, the classic shoulder circle done with clubs. So here I'm doing two inside circles, or inside throws, and then we can also go outside. Cross in front, uncross, circle behind. So big circle in front, small circle behind. Generally speaking, you see these done with elbows low, not elbows high, but they can be done with adding a little bit of height. Does make things a little bit tougher. So generally speaking, if you want to do a high elbow circle, better to do it one at a time or the next one, which is alternating. So here we'll go one at a time, alternating. So here we're both going inside circles. So this, for most people, will feel a lot more natural than the last one. And then alternating to the outside. This is that reverse throw. Next one, so we'll do opposing. That means one comes in, one comes out. So this one is going inside circle, this one is going outside circle, and then we link them up. And then last one, most challenging, is to do opposing and alternating. So we'll start with them linked up, and then we'll slow one down. So as one comes up, or rather as one comes in, one goes out. One comes in, one goes out. Other direction. When I'm turning the clubs or turning the weight, the goal is not to make it feel like I'm being stronger and building strength that way. The goal is to control the increased momentum and the force of the circle. It's not to try to throw force into it. I'm not trying to hit things with a hammer. It should be smooth and continuous all the way around. Hand grip for clubs, generally speaking, we want to use our rock and roll hand grip here as well, just like with bells. And if you put your two middle fingers, your strength fingers, right at the base of the club next to the ball, then your pinky and your index finger, they work as levers. So they're going to be loose, where the middle two will be strong. Again, you can use the rock and roll grip, just like with kettlebells, to remind yourself of that. So last one, we started this a little bit already, but adding load adds a lot of complexity here too. Instead of getting heavier and heavier with the clubs, we can use bells to serve as this. This hold is going to be the hammer hold, here, not here. So all the way up, hold it like a hammer for these. With the heavier ones, certainly all the same circles apply. Generally speaking, you want to be the most safe and decompressive. If you have a funky angle or funky shoulders, you don't want to throw a bunch of weight around with it. The goal of this is not to just try to put up a big, put a big meatball in your hand and then just chuck it, hope for the best. So if you have a shoulder, so for me, my problem side is my left side, I will not do some of the circles with a heavy load. Not until I felt like it was absolutely ready to or warm enough to do that. When they get really heavy, this is a place where the more athletic staggered stance can be particularly useful. So if I'm going to do continuous throws using this athletic stance, I can practice, this will be the one I probably throw the most amount of weight with, because I'll be able to put the most of my body into it, just like I were throwing something else. If I were doing these classic style with my feet square, this gets a lot more challenging, especially notice on my outside circles. It's hard to load and unload on that problematic side. So, one bell, you can up the ante with two bells. So again, this is advanced stuff. I would not try this without being super comfortable with everything else previously. But same rules apply here. Front circles in parallel, alternating circles, all of those can be done. I have 2 6s here. But I like, with the load, I prefer focusing on the throws versus focusing on the straight arm. Loading and unloading throws, and my preferred for the heavy are the inside and outside throws. Makes the easiest and most gentle rhythm, and is the most natural feeling of all of them. So you want, when you start throwing weight around, you want it to feel very natural. You don't want to put yourself in really unnatural positions. So advanced shoulder circles, throwing weights around.